All right, here's the final part of this video. Should cover up the rest. Especially pay attention for the matrix stuff. The matrix stuff is going to be pretty important, as all the things there are useful on the test that I'm going to review. But you might have not been in there or wasn't paying attention during the lesson in class. So please pay attention for the matrix stuff. All right, for this one, you can set them equal to each other. Because they have the same base, I could just put the top together. 9 minus 2x over x plus 1. Very straightforward. This one, the bases are not equal to each other. So what I'm going to have to do is multiply this both sides by what's missing. Here, a 5 over 5, and here, an x over x. So that's going to be 12x over 5x plus 35 over 5x. We could combine the bottoms because they're the same thing, 5x. So we just do the tops, 12x plus 35. Over here, we have minus minus. Again, we need a common denominator between the two. So this guy is missing a 3 and an x. This already has for this side, already has x squared. So it doesn't need any more x's, it just needs a 4. So the left side needs a 4. Remember, we give what is missing on both sides. So we get 32 over 12x squared minus 15x over 12x squared, which we can make together 32 minus 15x over 12x squared. Next one, 3 over 4 plus 2 minus 1 over 6 plus 6. So what we're going to have to do is multiply this side by x plus 4. We're going to have to multiply this side by x plus 6. Now on the bottom of the fraction, and I'm just going to make it one fraction to be a little quicker, I'm going to keep it factored on purpose. And the reason I keep it factored on purpose is because if I am able to cancel something out, I'd rather have it factored than foiled and force myself to factor again. So this 3 will be distributed here. So it's going to be 3x plus 18. And this negative 1, remember this is a negative 1 technically, is going to be distributed here. So negative x minus 4. Which means if we combine like terms, it's 2x minus or plus 14 over x plus 4, x plus 6. On the top, I could take out a 2, so it's x plus 7 over x plus 4, x plus 6, which means nothing can be canceled out, so this is the final answer. Next one, solve. In order to solve, luckily for us, because these are just two fractions, we could just cross multiply. So because we could cross multiply, we could just go 4 times x plus 6 equals 5 times 2x, which means it's 4x plus 24 equals 10x. Minus 4x on both sides, 24 equals 6x, divided by 6 on both sides, x equals 4. Over here, cross multiply, x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals x times x plus 5. A little bit of distribution, x squared minus x minus 6 equals x squared plus 5. I'm going to subtract x on both sides, x squared on both sides, and I'm also going to subtract 5 on both sides. This makes it negative x minus 11 equals 0, plus 11 on both sides, negative x equals 11, divided by negative 1 on both sides, x equals negative 11. Next one, we need to make all the denominators the same. So I got to put an x here. If I do that, I have to put the x on top. You could think of it as multiplying x and x. And then combine the fractions. So it's 4 plus 2x over x equals 10 over x. Because the x's are the same on the bottom, I could cancel them out. Which now is just going to be 4 plus 2x equals 10. Divided by minus 4 on both sides, 2x equals 6. Divided by 2 on both sides, x equals 3. Next one, again, we need the denominators to be the same. So this guy needs a 2. This guy needs a x. This guy needs a 2. So it's going to be 4 plus x over 6x equals 8 over 6x. Since it's the same on the bottom, we could cross these out. You can technically cross multiply, but there's no point in that because they'll cancel out eventually. So 4 plus x equals 8. Subtract 4 on both sides, x equals 4. Next one, sequence and series. So find the first 6 terms. So what I'm going to do is take -3 and plug in 1. And I'll get -3. -3, plug in 2. -6. You probably can see the pattern, -9, -12, -15, -18. So I just keep plugging in the numbers from 1 through 6 because I said the first 6 terms. 2n minus 1, so 2 times 1 minus 1 is 1. 2 times 2 minus 1 is 3. 5, 7, 9, 11. Again, if you want a more detailed breakdown, go to the particular video for this test. For this one, it's n squared minus n. So it's going to be 1 squared minus 1, or 0. 2 squared minus 2, or 2. 3 squared minus 3, or 6. 4 squared minus 4, or 12. 5 squared minus 5 is 20. 6 squared minus 6 is 30. Next one, tell if the thing is arithmetic, geometric, or neither. Probably the fourth option I would say is like both, but that never will happen. So in this case, for this one, it's plus 3, plus 3, plus 4, plus 3. So this one is neither. This is times 2.5, times 2.5, times 2.5. So that's going to be geometric. Four, 6, 8, 10. You could do arithmetic. For this one, find the pattern and give the next term. So if you notice the pattern here is going to be divided by -2. The same thing as multiplying by -1/2. Doesn't matter how you think about it. If I multiply this by -1/2, that means it's going to be -6.25 or positive 6.25. Over here, we are on the top and the bottom are separate rules. So on the top, I'm adding 2 on both sides, or I'm not both adding. I am multiplying 2 on the top, while on the bottom, I'm always lowering by 1. So multiply on 2 on top, subtract by 1 on bottom. So the next one should be 32 over 5. All right. Find the rules given the information, then find A10. So the rule, this is a arithmetic sequence. So the rules for arithmetic sequence is AN equals A1 plus DN minus 1. So this is A1 is 7, plus D is the pattern is -3 each time, so -3, N minus 1 equals AN. So that's the general rule. So when I want A10, because this is multiple choice, I'm going to actually have the simplified version. So 7 minus 3n plus 3, or the rule will look like -3n plus 10. So in a multiple choice, it will look like this. This one, A10, so we're plugging in 10 into the equation. 7 minus 3, 10 minus 1, a little bit of algebra, -20. This one, same concept. I have D, I have A4 in this case. So A4, I don't have A1, but I could find A1 using my rules. So I know on the 40th step, or the 4th step, it's going to be 90. So 90 times some mystery A1, or equals some mystery A1, plus I know what the D is, 12, minus I know what step I'm on. I'm step 4. So the N is going to be 4 minus 1. So 90 equals A1 plus 3 times 12 is 36. Subtract 36 on both sides. A1 is equal 6054. So 54, but that's not my rule. The rule is an equals 54 plus 12 n minus 1, which FOIL and simplify. An equals 12n plus 42. All right, we're going to plug in 10. Remember, since I simplified it, I could plug it into this equation actually. So 12 times 10 plus 42, 120 plus 42, 162. Next one, for the geometric sequence, find the rule. So this one, I'm multiplying 4 each time. So the rule is the first term, 3. Oh, the general rule is an equals a1 times r to the n minus 1. So in this case, a1 is 3, r is 4, n minus 1. That's my rule. No need to simplify that. We plug in the 6 here. So 3 times 4, 6 minus 1, or 3 times 4 to the 5th power. Let's use a calculator for that. 4 to the 5th power times 3. That's going to be 3072. This one, a1 is 3, ar is 2. It's actually easier than the previous one because I just literally tell you how the variables look. You don't have to think about that one. So a6 is going to be, you're going to plug in 6 for that. So 3 times 2 to the 5th power, because 6 minus 1 is 5th. 2 to the 5th power is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. 32 times 3 is 96. Next one. This one, find the sum of the series, if possible. The equation for the sum of an arithmetic sequence, is going to be n times a1 plus an over 2. So since I'm doing 13 steps, it's going to be 13, and it's going to be plug in a1, so you're plugging in 1, and plug in an, so you're plugging in 13. So plugging in 1 in this case, 2 plus 1 is 3. And I'm plugging 13 in this case, 26 plus 1 is 27. This is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So 13 times 15, everyone could do that in their head, 195. Next one. This is a geometric sequence. Geometric sequence patterns are a1, 1 minus r to the n power over 1 minus r. So in this case, a1 is the number in front, which is 2. If you never know, you can just plug in 1 and see what happens. 1 minus the r is 3. So 3 to the 5th power, because I'm going 5 steps, and I know I'm going 5 steps because the top of the thing is 5 steps, over 1 minus the 3. So 2 times 3 to the 5th power is 81, 243. So 1 minus 243 is negative 242 over negative 2. 2 and negative 2 cancels out, and the negatives cancel out. So the answer is just going to be 242. This one is an infinite series, but the issue is because this is bigger than 2, this is non-convergent or no solution. But this one's less than 1, so because that is less than 1, we can use the formula, which is a1 over 1 minus r. So 12 over 1 minus 2/3. 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. When you divide it by 1/3, it's the same thing as multiplying by 3, or the reciprocal, you can think of it. So that's going to be 36. All right, this one, evaluate 10C2. What's easy about this is you literally go to your calculator, you go to do math, you got to go right to probability, you go into NCR, so it's option 3. I'm going to put 10, and I'm going to put 2. If you have an older version, you must type in 10 first before you do the NCR. So you have an older version, type in 10 first. This case is 45. All right, Bill's taking a true-false quiz. He has 5 questions. He doesn't know any of the questions, so he's guessing on each one. What's the chances you get 3 out of 5 or more? So I need to figure out what's the chances of him getting 3, so 5 choose 3. The chances of him getting 4, 5 choose 4. And the chances of him getting all of them right, 5 choose 5. In order to do that, we're going to have to do these things, multiply the chances he's winning. So since it's a true or false question, it's only 0.5. So 0.5 to the third power. And then the chances he's losing is 0.5 to the second power. But because this is exactly 50-50, we can always just simplify this to 5c3 times 0.5 to the fifth power. That only works because they're 0.5. It doesn't work with anything else. But it will work for each one. So 5c4 times 0.5 to the fifth power. And 5c5 times 0.5 to the fifth power. In this case, I'm forced to use my calculator. So math, probability, and CR, which is this? 5-3. So 5-3 times 0.5 to the power of 5. So 31.25%. So same thing, I click second entry to make it easier. So I could just pop up the same thing and I just go backwards until I hit the 3 and I can replace that with a 4. That's 15 and 5/8. That was 15.625. And the last one. Make sure your batteries are charged and ready for the test. 3.125. If you add this all up, it'll be 50%. Remember, you want to add the sum of all these percentages. Notice this only matters because I mentioned or more. While this one over here is just exactly 3 right. So out of 8 questions, she wants 3 right. So we're going to do 8 choose 3 times. Since there's 5 options per question, that means the chance of you getting it right is 0.2 or 20%. Since I want 3 right, I'm going to put a 3 here. Well, then I have to account for all the wrong things I do. So there's 0.8 for all the chances of me getting it wrong. If 0.2 is correct, 0.8 is left over. And if I get 3 right, there must be 5 left over of being wrong. So now I got to go to the math calculator. So it's going to be 8 choose 3 times, times 0.2 to the power of 3 times 0.8 to the power of 5. So it's a 14.7% chance. Don't worry about rounding. It's multiple choice, so you don't have a choice in the rounding. All right, study shows all this. The key points you want to know is that the standard deviation is 12. So your standard deviation is 12. And your mean was 2,200. So your X bar is 200. Which means what I'm going to do is put in the middle 200. And then every step I go up the standard deviation, which is 212, 224, 236. While here, I'm going to go down every standard deviation, 188, 176, 154. From here, I just look at this and see between 188 and 212, so that's here and here. I just add these 2 percentages up, so that's 68%. Over here, P is X is greater than 224, so it's only this and beyond, so it's going to be 2.5%. Over here is anything less than 188, so that's here and below, so 2.5 times 13.5 is 16%. This one, a study involved 300 people. What's the margin area? Is the 10th. What's the margin area? The formula is 1 over the square root of n, technically plus or minus. So in this case, it's 1 over the square root of 300. I can't do that in my head, so I go to the calculator. 1 divided by the second square gives you square root, 300. That's going to give you 5.7, what did I say, 10%? So 5.8%. So my answer will be right from 5 to 8%. 5.8%. All right, so this is the reverse situation. I know it's 6%, so I know my answer should be 0.06, 1 over the square root of n. So I have to move this around, and after a little bit of manipulating, what it's going to look like is 1 over 0.06 squared equals n. So what I'm going to do is type that into my calculator, 1 divided by 0.06 squared, and I get 277.7. In this case, rounding really matters. It's 278 people. You can't have a part person. All right, matrices. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut off this video and then do a separate video on matrices to make sure we cover it.